Or to this a suggestion via a channel member. The name of the video is Uproar as Antifa-linked professor flees the country. Oh, God, guys. That's a wild one. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're here for it.
Hello, Emily. Well, a Rutgers University administrator now wants Turning Point USA's campus officers booted.
Okay.
After a professor said he fled the country because of death threats. Professor Mark Bray fled to Spain after he says Turning Point USA publicized his work on Antifa, and that sparked a firestorm against him. Well, the Turning Point USA chapter says Bray not only writes about Antifa, but he supports the movement. So the group started a petition to get him ousted.
Our main goal with the petition was to hear a comment from workers. We don't believe that he should be employed at this school.
Right.
We believe that he is a danger to conservative students on campus. We wanted to bring light to some of his actions.
But on Friday, the Rutgers University Senate is set to vote on a resolution demanding the university support and protect him. In an op-ed piece, Rutgers president today, William Tate, says muzzling Bray is an example of cancel culture, writing, quote, "The role of the university, however, is not to prevent discomfort or protect ideology.
Right.
Our responsibility is to protect the conditions for inquiry and debate. We do
Okay.
this by modeling the free exchange of ideas, upholding the law, and fostering a secure environment for teaching and research."
Okay, guys, I definitely wanted to kind of get the story here. I think we understand it now. Yeah, generally, guys, like, what is a university? Like, what was the original purpose of it for the most part here? It was a place where you could actually come with different ideologies and different views and actually come, and it's a forum, right? A public forum for the most part, right? I mean, nowadays you have to pay to be in that public forum, but you get what I'm saying here. Yeah, I would say definitely we should not be looking at trying to cancel someone specifically for having a different ideology. But if this brand new, let's not even brand new, but if this ideology is now deemed as, like a terrorist type of thing, then yeah, probably. I mean, listen, when the president did that, it immediately made that type of thought, I would say, a thought that is absolutely detrimental to the public, let's say, non-anarchist type of individuals, let's say, this year. So yeah, I can imagine. Of course he ran. I don't know what he's going to do in Spain, guys. I live half the year in Spain, and they don't like that out there neither. So I don't know why you'd go there, of all places. But let's finish your story.
Bray is the author of this book, Antifa, the Anti-Fascist Handbook. Half of the book's proceeds go to support international anti-fascist efforts. Well, in an interview with the AP before he left the country, Bray said he just researched Antifa and he rejected Turning Point USA's claims about him.
I myself am not Antifa, although I do support anti-fascism. Broadly speaking, I oppose fascism, but I'm a researcher. I come at this as a researcher and as a professor, and the efforts by Turning Point USA to paint me as the mastermind of Dr. Antifa is ridiculous.
Well, a school administrator says Ava.
I'll kind of give you that. But listen, if people are joining the cause exclusively because of the book that they're reading, then I can see how people could come up to that overall perception here. Is he the mastermind? No, bro. Come on. Antifa is super old.
And another Turning Point USA officer on campus should be stripped of their roles because they are not undergraduate students. Ava is a graduate student. We've reached out to her for comment, and she told us that she will have a reaction to that demand as soon as she can. We'll get it to you when she does. Emily, back to you.
Eric, Sean, thank you. All right, Todd, let's unpack here. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, I understand the argument that he's an explainer of what Antifa is. Well, if you're trying to explain, trying to educate the people, don't label it as a handbook, because all the handbooks that I have in my house are how to do something. Like my handbook on plumbing.
Well played.
It's not an explainer on the theories of plumbing.
Right,
it's
it's
how
not.
to do plumbing.
It's how to do it.
Second, to build off of something Eric Sean said, the funding, this is from the book itself. Quote, at least 50% of author proceeds will go to the International Anti-Fascist Defense Fund, which is administered by more than 300 Antifa, his word, not mine, from 18 countries. So if you are funding Antifa, which has been designated by Donald Trump, the president, as a terror organization, you unequivocally should not be teaching at a university. Universities can be hotbed of discussion, different points of view. That's what we want. That's how a university thrives. But funding a terror organization is where we need to draw the line. That's why we're seeing such a push toward trade schools. If you just want to go to a school and get an education to learn how to do something, Rutgers and schools like it that are promoting this are not the place for you.
Yeah, and Kennedy, I wanted to dig into that very same point with you on the president, the Tate's commentary, where he talks about that, well, this is cancel culture, but isn't it simply consequences? And if someone is employed in a position to affect influence and potentially indoctrination over students and is contributing directly to terrorist organizations, to me that seems like a no-brainer where it would disqualify them for employment. He's free to say and do what he wants. That's the point, but it's accountability and consequences that Turning Point here is seeking.
Yeah, I mean, we are looking at the consequences of private text messages, you know, possibly upending and destroying careers and lives. You know, this wasn't a private manifesto that he had on his MacBook that someone hacked into, but that's what he's acting like. He's acting like he's some sort of a victim here. This is a book, a handbook, a manifesto that he published under his own name.
Let's not call it a manifesto, but definitely a book that he published under his own name and then labeled it a handbook. So when I first saw this, I didn't realize that, yeah, it literally says handbook, and by default, yeah, he's telling people how to do it, and you know, they should do it and all these other things.
He published under his own name. It wasn't under a pseudonym. It wasn't when he was cosplaying as some stinky anti-fascist warrior. You know, this is a guy, this is a professor who, you know, has conceivably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on his education. And this book is the exclamation point on the conclusion that he has come to. And the conclusion, as we have seen in cities like Portland, it's pretty bad. Like, Antifa wants to burn the entire structure down. But what are they offering when the
structure is burnt down,
when it's in ruins? That's my problem.
Anarchy,
with this. It's not the idea that,
lawlessness,
you know, some of these establishments need a pushback. It's that what they're offering is dystopia. It is violence. It is potentially murder. It is unlivable cities. And, you know, that is what he's lobbying for. He's not talking about it. It's not someone who works in a counterterrorism think tank who goes out and studies Hamas and Hezbollah. They are not endorsing those organizations. They're telling, it's the same thing with the narco cartels. Like, they are telling us how they work, who populates it, and then law enforcement uses that and goes, oh, great, now we have intel and we can figure out how to defeat them. This is a full-throated endorsement of Antifa and nothing else, an organization that is very violent at its core and, you know, according to some, a terrorist organization. Not a great thing to be endorsing on a campus.
No, and Kaylee, to Kennedy's points, they're also anonymous and they flee immediately. There is zero accountability. There is zero engagement, unlike Charlie Kirk and Turning Point that fostered debate. Take off the mask. Talk to me as a human. I see you and I respect you, and let's talk about this interchange of ideas. Now we see a professor that's simply fleeing the country rather than saying, yes, let's talk about these ideas. In part, it makes you wonder, because of the fleeing aspect, perhaps he too sees that this is a grotesque concept to stand behind.
No, he doesn't. Hold on. Guys, listen. He's fleeing for the same reason that ICE basically wears masks. Guys, understand this here. Like, once you become demonized specifically to the other side, specifically in this absolutely ridiculous time we're in, you're basically, you know, target number one. Let's just say this here. The fact that he did write this here, like, listen, you can write whatever you want to write, bro. Do you think, right? But to understand this here, when you start, like, when you're in like massive levels of promotion, then you're basically saying in the book that you have no problem kind of handing over, you know, proceeds from your book specifically to this organization that has officially been deemed as a terrorist organization. What exactly are you expecting here? But understand this here. This is where this may be like a slight contradiction, and I'm sure some of you guys in the comments are going to kind of help me out, help me try to like fix this in my head at least. Okay, so here's the thing. The right absolutely dislikes the idea, I think in general, of holding people's generally like the past against who they are today. I think, like, I remember when like a couple of the comedians kind of came out and they used to basically make all types of jokes that they no longer make today. The right kind of, for the most part, stood up for that, stood up for them being able to do that. And I think the contradiction comes in when things could be legal or okay for the most part. They may have never been okay to, you know, they may have never been okay. Let's just be honest here. But they may have once been okay. And it's like we're going back in time and crucifying someone for something that they did before something was deemed something, if that makes any sense here. right? That's kind of what it sounds like, but and this is also the reason why he left. I don't know what he's expecting to get from like in Spain, I guess, depending on where he is. But guys, they don't really play that out there like that, guys. And I mean that to the depths of me here. So I don't know what the purpose of that was. Or he should have probably went to Italy. But he's gone. And is he probably going to come back? He's probably going to have to come back at some time, guys. Let's just be truthful and honest here. I don't know if organizations are still going to be able to sell, let's say, that manifesto that they're calling it, but obviously just a handbook, guys. Right? We'll see going forward. But yeah, listen, they've been deemed a terrorist organization by the President of the United States of America. So that means kind of going forward, I don't think that we should be going back in the past, let's say, to pull up skeletons. All right, listen, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I do understand why he left. I understand the pressure to basically get out as fast as he possibly can because of the scenario, obviously, that he's going to be experiencing in the United States of America, kind of being put on blast specifically by Turning Point. All right, understand this, okay? But all right, listen, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.